Well, many believe that honoring our war veterans is not just a patriotic gesture, but a responsibility as a country to recognize those who serve and protect our freedoms.
There's one museum quietly tucked away in the heart of Kaka'ako that has taken on the task of telling the story of the war in the Pacific through those who witnessed it firsthand. KITV4's Joe Kuramoto shows us the home of the brave, right where you live.
Chances are, unless you're a veteran or a family of a veteran, you may have never heard of the Home of the Brave Museum. But this treasure trove of history has been around for 22 years, telling the story of war by those who know it best.
So, when people ask me, what is your favorite item in the museum, it's really difficult. I would say the photos and the memories that we have from the World War II veterans.
And here at Home of the Brave headquarters, there's lots of them. First-hand accounts of World War II.
Each one of these has a fantastic story. This fella here, Emmett Howell, he comes every year. He was a Marine Corps pilot during World War II, and he was actually Eisenhower's pilot after World War II.
And it's not just the war heroes on display, but the regular G.I. Joes.
Real-life superheroes. Some stories better than any Hollywood movie. Unbelievable.
Every item in this museum,
these are then and now shots.
Donated by veterans and their families. Each one has a story.
We had Larry, it says Larry on Leyte, who is a World War II veteran, used to come on the tour for years, and he would always say, Glenn, where's your Japanese rifle? 6 months ago, sadly, I got a call from Larry's son, and he said, Dad passed away, but I want to read you something. Last will and testament, and to Home of the Brave, I bequeath my World War II rifle, or the Japanese rifle that came from Okinawa. He was actually on the same island that Ernie Pyle was on at the time when Ernie Pyle, our famous war correspondent, was killed by a sniper. So the son wrote, or the son called me and he says, and I quote, and Dad wrote, now tell Glenn he's got a real museum.
Creating this museum has been a labor of love for Glenn Tomlinson. Although not enlisted himself, Glenn has military in his blood.
I grew up hearing the warrior stories from my dad's older brother, Uncle Tommy, and my grandfather. And then my wife's father was a tanker in Luzon in the Philippines near the end of World War II. And her mom was a Rosie the Riveter. She actually worked for Boeing Aircraft.
A living, breathing museum. Visitors here encouraged to touch and immerse themselves in the 1940s. And Tomlinson says he doesn't own what he collects. He says the families are welcome to take anything back at any time. But that rarely happens.
Well, we get a call about 2 years ago. My dad passed away. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And he was a good friend. He would come on the tour every year. We're coming to get Grandpa's stuff. Come and get it. Well, the kids come over here. They go on the tour and they go, oh my gosh, I could never take it from here.
Sadly, Tomlinson is running out of room with these war veterans dying at a rapid pace.
I think our veterans are very grateful to see that people are keeping their stories alive.
The goal now, to keep the stories alive, not only for this generation, but for future generations.
What we always say, a grateful nation remembers your service. When the folks leave on board the tour van, we also say, remember, remain the land of the free as long as we are the home of the brave.
For safety and security reasons, we agreed not to broadcast the address of the museum. The only way to see the museum for yourself is to book a tour, and we've got that information on our website, KITV.com. Joe Kuramoto, KITV4 News.